The views and opinions expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Nash Community College, the Board of Trustees of Nash Community College, or the North Carolina Community College System.
We don't need no stinking budget. Oh, no.
Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
You play ball like a girl! Oh, yeah! Come on to play!
And Leon's getting larger.
Nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Well, thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Hey guys, welcome to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
I'm Tyler.
Oh wow, that was really fast.
Very fast.
I'm about to say, usually it's like a little bit of a delay there, and it just kind of like makes the whole kind of feeling go away.
Not the kind of ladies you like. But
what?
Welcome to Big Bang Cinema. Where we talk
Yeah.
about movie news, movie reviews, and
Everything in between, yeah.
Okay,
So man, how's your week been?
that was the first time I've ever done that.
I know. You looked apprehensive. It's like every single word you had went through a background check. It was just
Yeah,
like,
I was trying to remember.
welcome
Did I had it right? Did I have it right? Am I saying this right? Is it appropriate? But yeah,
no.
I've had a crazy week.
Oh wow. Speaking about inappropriate and crazy.
Well, you're not going to dig into my week or anything like that? Like,
no, because it was a perfect segue. We ruined it. Dang it, man.
Oh.
Well, speaking about ruined it, the Justice League, Joss Whedon finally got a writing credit on it.
He did.
Yeah, I know. Congratulations to him. I imagine he probably wrote the film, wrote the entire film over. There's rumors out that's like 60 to 70% of the movie has been redone. I know we talked about this a lot, but I mean,
Is he gonna put Buffy the Vampire Slayer in it?
Do what?
Is he gonna put Buffy the Vampire Slayer in it?
I seriously doubt it.
Oh,
But-
Angel. He's the one who created the TV shows for him, if y'all don't know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, he was brought on after Zack Snyder had a family incident, and Zack Snyder apparently had a very big hand in writing the film. Ooh. And now, since he's gone out, apparently they've done like the whole movie over again. Basically, the reshoots cost upwards of like millions and millions of dollars. I think they're like $40 million right now with the reshoots.
Why can't they just give it to me and keep the movie as is?
Because they're not, the musical group. What was it? Wu-Tang Clan that has like the one CD they give to people, and it's like that's the Golden Scepter. You only get one copy of the CD, and no one else is going to hear it. No, this movie is going to get released as a big blockbuster. Who knows? It might be pretty good, but like, do you think it's going to be any good?
I'd say it's going to be like 60.
A 60? Like just 60 minutes long because they refilmed all the stuff?
60%. I think it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be kind of like an improvement from the last film.
Yeah, I hope so, man. But this looks like a huge a cluster, if you know what I mean. It's probably the biggest cluster I've seen since something like Suicide Squad with them. But Hunter, do you have any opinions on that either?
You have any facts on that?
I don't have any facts, but it's DC.
Oh, that's all you gotta say.
Yeah, it's
okay.
DC.
Continue, Tyler.
I think that the only problem is DC didn't have a long time to develop these characters like Marvel had before the very first team-up film they did. Mm-hmm. So you only got like Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. I mean, everybody else is kind of like gonna be thrown up in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult to try to like match all those things together.
All up in there.
Yeah, and then all the Aquaman films coming after that. The Flash movie's coming in after that, and the Flash movie has its own drama going on. Been through like 4 directors. Aquaman's, I think that's filming now. Could be wrong. Yeah, it should be kind of interesting. James Wan is directing that.
John Swan is a good director.
John Swan?
James Wan.
You said John Swan.
You said John Swan?
No, I said James Wan. You said John Swan.
I said James Wan. I said James Wan's a really good director.
Oh, whatever.
So I got a lot of faith in that film.
I mean,
I just hope he makes it like scary and puts like the sinister critter in it.
I don't think the sinister critter is going to be
the insidious critter. She's
Insidious. Well, I mean, maybe it'll be good, but I mean, who knows? Guys, let us know. But kind of moving on from that, there's a movie coming out now with Mr. What's his name? Matt Damon? Yes.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Mr. Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig are going to be in this movie called Downsizing.
And
there's a little short teaser trailer for it.
And, okay, it's Downsizing trailer. I thought it was like downsizing a trailer.
No.
Like you get a smaller house.
You can't downsize more than that.
Like you get a smaller house.
Yeah, that's pretty down. But,
this makes a whole lot more sense now.
But yeah, the Talking Heads are playing behind this. Alexander Payne directed it.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about the Talking Heads.
Yeah, the talking heads are great.
What's his name? What's that guy's name? Gabriel Byrne? No, that's not Gabriel Byrne. What's his name?
David Byrne.
David Byrne.
That's beyond the point. Yeah, Jason Sudeikis is in it, and also
This
Mr.
is not my beautiful house. Is that the song they're playing?
It's like, yeah, you're in your big, beautiful house.
And the days go by, let the water roll.
Yeah, that's it. And this man, Alexander Payne, right? Yeah, Alexander Payne. Yeah, he directed a movie called Nebraska. I'm not sure if you saw it.
How cool would it be if he joined the army, but like General Payne or Lieutenant Payne or Sergeant
What do you say,
Payne?
Hunter? Just the fact he's trying to find a hidden meaning in this movie that he just didn't realize. Maybe so.
You know, I never saw Nebraska. I thought it was something to do with like Count Olaf or something.
He looks like he was really happy and then his mom was like, by the way, I ran over Scruffy. He's like, what?
I feel that's a serious unfortunate event, don't you?
What?
Serious unfortunate events. I saw this and I thought that's what
I don't know,
it
it
was.
looks like Don King to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I haven't seen any of his films, but you ever seen The Descendants? I think that was another one of his films.
Was that the one about the bank robbers?
I have no idea, I've never seen it.
No.
But yeah, apparently this movie is about Matt Damon going under a surgery to become smaller. And yeah, I don't know.
Smaller.
Smaller. What's so funny?
You getting a reduction?
Small. Well, a reduction in his like size.
Oh, it's like a size reduction. Like a forehead reduction or something.
Oh, well, it's it's not as low as you're thinking.
He never wants to be able to ride that coaster. Like his girlfriend is trying to talk him into it. He's like, I'm afraid of winds that go upside down. Let's have the surgery.
He must be this tall to ride the ride, and they just change it. They had to make it like a tiny roller coaster. He has to ride those little the Lego ones.
So I guess it's kind of be like, because I always felt bad about Ben Affleck to be able to ride a roller coaster because his forehead would smack the upper rail. So I guess he kind of like a reduction. He could like hang out with him at the theme parks. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that was good. I gotta admit, that's a 5-head.
It's a 5-head.
Also a great band. But yeah, I mean it's only 30 seconds, but I mean, especially like with an all-star cast like this, it's really hard to kind of go bad with this. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty cool. It comes out sometime next year, I think, or maybe sometime later this year. I'm not really sure.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Look at that.
Oh my goodness! Well, he's referring to our next segment, which is Ben Affleck has been rumored to be in a new Afghanistan war movie by our favorite people at Sony, and he's rumored to direct it, I believe, and. They're really trying to push for him. He's really stressed out with the Batman stuff.
Was it Argo 2 or something?
It's not Argo 2. I think it's. I think there's going to be something completely different. I think it's an idea they have of a war movie they want to see him star or direct.
Black Hawk Down.
No.
Like that.
But would you want do you like Ben Affleck's films? Like not him starring in it. His.
I liked Argo. I thought Argo was good.
Okay. You seen The Town?
No.
I really enjoy The Town. The Town's really interesting.
I really enjoyed Argo.
That's another great heist film if you haven't seen it.
But it had to me, but Argo had a really good cast in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was also like beautifully directed. He's like one of probably the best directors out right now as far as kind of the stuff he's doing. Granted, he has little, like downsides, like Live by Night, which was
the Batman.
Great. Well,
he's not doing it no more.
I know, but that doesn't really count. That hasn't come out yet. But I mean, so we can't really count that one quite yet. Kevin Smith movies, yeah. He's been in those. I really enjoy him in those.
Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, that was one of my favorite ones he done.
But I'm talking like more so.
Talk
like,
about how about Jim Apples?
I wonder like how much I like Ben Affleck and how much I like Kevin Smith. Like, which one is it?
See, but it's because you like Kevin Smith that you like Ben Affleck because he's in the Kevin Smith.
I'm about to say, is the character that Ben Affleck kind of portrays, is that mostly Kevin Smith telling him what to do, or is that Ben Affleck's kind of like thing? And that's kind of the whole debate.
No, not Mallrats. Jersey Girl.
Mallrats, wasn't he?
Jersey Girl.
He was in Mallrats also, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's been a while. Guys, tell us in the comments.
Chasing Amy.
Yeah, he's definitely in Chasing Amy with his big old goatee. But yeah, I really like his directing style. Like his directing style is really cool and unique.
I do like Kevin Smith's directing style too. I mean, I thought these are great.
Oh, Ben Affleck's.
Oh, we're talking about Ben Affleck again. Totally.
Yeah, like the whole segment we were talking about. But yeah, I mean, especially I haven't seen him do like a war movie. We've seen him do things like Argo, which is like takes place during kind of a weird time. But
and we've seen him do Batman. I've seen the Batman.
I mean, we've seen him be the Batman. But
I saw him play the autistic karate fighter.
Oh, you mean the accountant?
The accountant.
We reviewed that one time on the show. I like it more the second time. The second time's a little better. But I mean, as far as kind of like his directing style, I really like kind of like the way he kind of gives suspense in the scenes. Like when they're flying off the plane in Argo. A bit of spoilers for Argo if you haven't seen it. Like when they're flying off and like, do you think they're going to get caught? And like if they get caught, it's not going to be good. That's a pretty tense scene to me. And just kind of like the dialogue that he kind of directs his actors to do. And he also does really good at, starring in his films too. Granted, Live by Night wasn't that great. It was a little bland. But, everyone has their ups and downs. But, I mean, the big factor here is Sony. Sony tends to have really kind of, lack of better terms, kind of crappy movies.
Well,
and,
they'll greenlight anything, honestly.
They want
Stephen King could walk in the studio about a haunted lamp, and they're going to greenlight it.
Ooh, man.
Ooh, that lamp. They're like, we give it to us, we'll take it. And that's Sony. They will, and Sony will get a franchise and run it to death.
Yes.
They'll run it to the ground. Boom.
And I hope they don't do that with this. I mean,
they will. They will do this.
It would be like Red Platoon 2. This time it's another war.
Red Platoon 3, and then they're fighting on Mars, and they're fighting terrorists on Mars, and they get the moon.
Directed by a really sad Ben Affleck. Oh my goodness.
No, it's gonna go down the ladder to like some nameless director.
Oh yeah, it'll probably be like Paul W.S. Anderson after all those Resident Evil films.
Red Platoon 4.
Mila Jovovich will be in it.
And then eventually they're going to like give the rights away. Sci-Fi's going to get it, and they're going to start making like Ooey Bowl versions of it. A rip-off's going to be like Blue Squad. Red Platoon Blue Squad.
Red Platoon Blue Squad. Oh my goodness. That sounds great. Actually, I would love to see that. That sounds like a lot of fun. But going on to our last news segment. This one is really interesting. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but we have a little clip
I've seen
here.
Blade Runner.
Well, I mean, this is the new one. It's Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villeneuve right here. He commissioned a few directors to shoot some short films that take place before the movie that he has directed. And this one is actually really interesting. We watched it the other day in the studio. And this is just the intro clip right here, kind of Denis Villeneuve kind of talking about what it is. But he's got a friend of his that directed this little short starring Jared Leto and a person playing a replicant that Jared Leto has made. And it takes place in 2036, which is a few years before 2049, 13 years to be exact. But I think the clip's about to kind of start right now. But just talking about it, because I'm not sure if we'll get through the whole thing, but because I know you probably haven't seen it.
He like Josh Groban to you.
Yeah, like a French Canadian Josh Groban.
Exactly.
And, yeah, just very very creamy voice, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't look anything like Josh Groban. But
yes, he does. What I've noticed about this so far is that I saw Harrison Ford in there.
Yes, but this is not the short film. This is the short film.
This is the short film.
Okay. And it's just a bunch of people kind of sitting around. I like the way they did the technology in this. It's not really as futuristic as the stuff from the trailer for 2049.
Was that Benedict Wong?
No, it wasn't. It looked like the guy that played in, what was it, Doctor Strange.
That was Benedict Wong.
It was? Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But, yeah, it might be. I don't know. I didn't look up the actor names. I know Jared Leto's in this one. But Jared Leto actually plays a blind man that he's a replicant creator. It's a few years after kind of the original Blade Runner film, so replicants are still outlawed. And the whole premise of this is that he wants to kind of make replicants, and he makes them live as long as the person that buys them wants. And they listen to whatever you want them to do. They're completely controllable. And at the very end of this, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm just going to tell you what happens because we're not going to get through the whole thing. He tells the replicant to cut his face, and the replicant says it hurts. And then Jared Leto tells him to kill himself, and then he stabs his neck and he kills himself, kind of proving that he has complete control over him.
He gives him a choice.
Yeah, and you brought this up. Go ahead and talk about this because we talked about this yesterday.
Because life or mine, you have to choose now. And the replicant chooses his life over the creator's. And so I thought it was kind of ironic because you have this guy sitting here next to basically a machine, and he's more robot than the replicant itself is. Yeah. And another thing I thought about is it's funny that this blind character has such a large, grand vision of what he wants to do to the world. So there's a lot of irony and a lot of contrarianism to this character.
I love that observation. Yeah. When you told me that blew my mind. And I think that's just good direction right there. It's kind of like the fact that if someone blind can see so much, and that the fact that he's acting so robotic and so cold, and the other guy has such humanity to him, but yet he's still being controlled like a puppet. But Tyler, just kind of seeing this, what do you think about the kind of tone they're establishing?
I hope that he's not doing the whole Joker voice right now.
He's not doing the whole Joker voice right now.
Have you ever heard the G-Man from the Half-Life series? Like
yeah,
the way that character talks?
Wait, Gordon Freeman?
No, the dude in, not Gordon Freeman, but the G-Man, the guy in the suit. who kind of has that "Hello, Mr. Freeman," like that almost weird speech pattern. Like his speech pattern is so alien, right here in this scene too.
I'm not sure if that was a stylistic choice on his part, or is that something they came up with, like Denis Villeneuve came up with.
So he's talking like Mr. Smith?
No, the G-Man from Half-Life. I don't know if you've ever played those games.
I just played that Gary's mod.
He talks slow, odd. He puts emphasis in weird places in the words he chooses.
Like Christopher Walken, if he was a creator.
Like Christopher Walken, if he was one of the agents on Matrix.
Basically. Like if he was an agent.
Walken as Mr. Smith.
I must say, I literally just said that right before. Like Christopher Walken, if he was like something like that.
Yeah, Mr. Smith.
But
Mr. Walken.
But it's got my interest peaked because I've never seen the original Blade Runner, but watching this, it makes me really curious for what happens. For this one.
I mean, like, well, the old Blade Runner had, there's these guys called Blade Runners that are commissioned to go kill replicants.
I know the story.
They're part of the police force.
Yeah, they're police force. They're basically like, all the replicants are illegal on Earth, and there's a few that come to Earth, and he's got to hunt them down. And it kind of like the replicants are very human, and like to the point where they just want to be real because they die within 4 years. And this one, like, he just makes them live however long he wants them to. Yeah. And he's coming up in the part here where he makes them kind of like just smash the glass, which is kind of like, it's just a creepy image in and of itself.
Because the whole point of it was like he realized at the end he was killing people who just wanted to live.
Yeah,
and he's kind of realized. I mean, they had experienced so many things that a lot of people couldn't even comprehend.
But like I said, because I'm aware that the whole series or the argument is like, what is human? Like, what is humanity? At what point does like a machine and sentience become a life?
And then it becomes like it's like Westworld pretty much.
It's a little bit more philosophical than Westworld. Westworld's a little bit more kind of surface level.
And I've heard that monologue at the end.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that.
I don't know if you know this, and we'll into this, but we'll go to a break. But there's a lot of versions of Blade Runner. I think there's like 3 or 4. The first one that came out in the theater, they were afraid people weren't kind of stuff that you brought up wasn't going to land with people, so they put a voiceover of Harrison Ford throughout the whole thing, like an old noir film.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
So he's sitting there, and spoilers for the end of Blade Runner because you haven't seen a 30-year-old movie.
You said a dirty old movie.
No, 30-year-old movie.
Okay.
But so he's got the dove in his hand. I imagine you've kind of seen the whole Tears in the Rain thing.
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
And he kind of dies. He just wants to hold something alive in his hand. He spared his life.
It's Fallout 4. It's Fallout 4.
But the dove flies away, and then all of a sudden the voiceover just comes in and goes, "I don't know why he saved me that day, but for some reason he let me live. Maybe it was something inside of him." And it's just like the clunkiest thing. It's like somebody just smashes a big old bucket of cold water on you.
Ridley Scott was so mad over that thing.
Well, all I hope from seeing this right here is if this guy does become a villain, and the guy with the Chronicles of Riddick eyes, like if he does become a villain, like if he in some way dies, I just hope that they don't make it painfully obvious about all that. Like, if only he could have seen. Like, or, some kind of, as if they do something super on the nose like that, I'll be so disappointed.
You don't
because
want
right now, I don't want that.
You don't want like symbolism
like to be so spelled out.
Yeah,
like,
Denis Villeneuve is really good about subtlety and kind of things like that. I don't know if you've seen Arrival, but his subtlety and kind of the characters in that.
Oh
really good.
No, not
he's
that.
not. He's not an in-your-face.
Not that movie. Oh.
Yeah. He's not an in-your-face director. He's a very subtle director, and I think this movie is going to be really cool. But what you can say?
I said I'm looking forward to it. I love the director's cut of it. I thought it was amazing. I'm hoping this is going to be just as good as the director's cut.
I hope this one's better than that because I don't like Deckard being a replicant. But guys, thank you so much for watching so far. We do appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments or anything you want us to talk about, please leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah. So we're going to come back right after this break talking about some awesome biopics.
Bios about people.
In a world where some things are beyond legend, they will search for answers. Be prepared. Hang on to your seats. They are going where no one has gone before. Until now.
Why are you so close to me?
I don't know. Let me back up a little bit. Yo, check out our show on Big Bang Radio. No. Okay.
Did you know Nash Community College offers 12 degree programs entirely online? Are you interested in information technology? Explore information technology systems, network management, systems security, healthcare informatics, or web design and administration. These 2-year programs are only a few of the online associate degrees offered through Nash Online. Students receive the same quality instruction and resources as on-campus students without ever stepping foot on Nash's campus. Learn more about Nash Online today at online.nashcc.edu.
Nash Community College will host the inaugural Bounty and Barrel event Thursday, November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Join the community for an evening of North Carolina harvests, meats, and seafood while sampling barrel-aged spirits and student craft beer, plus a VIP hour with special guest and certified spirits specialist. Don't miss this Bounty and Barrel event, November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. on the campus of Nash Community College in Rocky Mount.
Woo! And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
I need no introduction.
Who are you? We're centered
You know
now.
who I am.
But guys, there's been a lot of movies about different people that have existed in life. Those are called biographical pictures. Biopics for short. So we're going to have a weekly segment. Best and worst biopics, because I didn't want to make a pun. You were going to make a better one on air.
I was about to say, like, Antibiotics would have been a good one.
That's a good one, too. I was thinking,
Yeah.
I was thinking Biohazard or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A biopic or bio lead to the side of the road?
I don't know.
Nope.
I'm not feeling that one either.
Nope.
Okay, well, go on with the first one. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for agreeing when it was terrible. But yeah, number one, this one is actually a really good one to my heart because I love old country music. And one of the best old country musicians is Mr. Johnny Cash himself. And Joaquin Phoenix portrayed him in Walk the Line, which is actually directed by James Mangold, who directed Logan.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was back in 2004. Joaquin Phoenix portrays the Man in Black himself, and not Gunslinger like Dark Tower Man in
I was
Black.
about to say Aliens, so...
Or Westworld. But Reese Witherspoon plays June Carter.
There's a lot of Men in Black, I realize that.
There is. It's a very common thing.
Very common. It's too common. It's too common.
The way Joaquin Phoenix portrays him is just so like spot on.
You're talking about hair lip Johnny Cash?
Hair lip Johnny Cash, but I mean, he was great. Like, apparently he was taking vocal lessons before this to try to get his voice spot on to like what Johnny Cash's was. His voice was too high, and then 2 weeks before they went in,
He took T-pills.
No. His voice just kind of dropped, and he sounds very, very similar to Johnny Cash. And granted, the story is highly inaccurate to what actually happened in his life.
Oh yeah, highly.
Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Johnny Cash, June Carter, and all
doing
the
drugs together.
Merle Haggard is all together. Like they're all in the same car, going on the same tour together. Don't think that happened. Just the way they're kind of incorporated the movie is kind of weird. But as a movie, as a narrative structure, this movie's great, and it really shows you kind of the character of Johnny Cash playing to the prisoners in Folsom Prison.
They even put the heroin in there either, did they?
I don't think they did they? It was PG-13. They could only go so far.
He was a heroin addict.
I know he was, and he was I think it was cocaine too, right?
Cocaine, heroin, and Quaaludes.
They incorporated some of that, and they could only do so much in PG-13. But obviously, James Mangold's very good at doing R-rated. It might have been better with R-rating, but
I feel like it would have been a whole lot better.
Well, speaking about R-rating, why don't you talk about the next one?
Oh, The Wolf of Wall Street, one of my favorites.
Speaking of Quaaludes,
don't. That was in there. I don't remember the guy. I can't remember the guy that he played. Cause I just
Jordan Belford.
Was it Belmont or Belford?
Belford.
Okay, I want to say Belmont for some reason. Castlevania. But he was a stockbroker who got fired after his first day on the job. So he gets some penny stocks and realized that penny stocks, when you sell them, you get like 50% commission on it. So he starts false selling it to rich people, raising stock. I mean, this is highly, highly illegal. So it was stock fraud, and he was selling penny stocks for millions of dollars and pocketing half of it. Highly illegal, and he was living large too. And it was all started a whole company. It was the longest running Ponzi scheme in American history.
But what about the movie?
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie. It was phenomenal. I think Martin Scorsese directed it. Was it Martin Scorsese?
It was Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of drugs, not for children. A lot of drugs. It was rough. I mean, you just see like how money had just like turned these people's lives inside out.
Excess everywhere.
Excess.
I love that about that movie too. It's everything about it is excess. The most F words in a movie like that. It's supposed to be like metaphors, and that editing gets choppy. It's like excess in the editing. So
That had the most F word in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right about it. And it was a good movie. It was very it was kind of like the dangers of fraud, I guess. And excess and dangers and I think he finally got busted at the end. I remember Jonah Hill had some big old fake teethers, like big old, and he was just like, they said he was talking, spit him out and smack across somebody in the forehead with him.
My favorite scene is when Jonah Hill swallows that dude's goldfish.
Yeah.
That's just something about that was
Jonah
amazing.
Hill's pretty great in this movie too.
Like he was talking, and they said he hit the fake teeth, and he was talking, and all of a sudden it would just shoot out of his mouth, and it would go and shoot people's faces while he was talking. He had big fake teeth. And
I really like this character. His character was a lot of fun.
But I think everybody remembers "Sell Me This Pen." That was like the big driving point of the movie. Sell me this pen, and the whole point was you had to create the demand and have the supply to sell it.
Yeah, but it's a really fun movie. Yeah, check it out. It's fun with the check out.
Like he goes, send me this pen, and the guy's trying to sell it to him. He goes, send me this pen. The guy goes, write your name down.
Yeah,
I think one of the coolest things about it is the ending.
Yeah.
As well, because he basically doesn't pay for anything.
No.
Any of the crimes. Scot-free, wealthy right back.
Sends like all his friends to jail, and then he goes writes books about it, about making money. I think he did something where he helped.
Starts teaching a sales class too.
Yeah, teaching a sales class, and next thing you know, he's got his money back.
Yep. But I say he didn't really get any punishment for that. But someone that did get punishment for something they did was this man right here, Mark Zuckerberg, who kind of infiltrated our lives in a certain way. Started a little website called Facebook, and I'm talking about the movie.
He stole a little website called Facebook.
Well, the movie's called Social Network, and the Social Network is directed by David Fincher and stars Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook. And so Armie Hammer plays these guys called the Winklevoss twins. He plays both the Winklevosses. And when the Winklevosses come up with an idea that's very close to Facebook. It's called Harvard Connection. And they want Mr. Zuckerberg right there to help them create it. So he kind of takes the idea, he makes it better, and kind of rolls with it on his own, according to the movie. Apparently it's not true, but it probably is. And his good friend Eduardo, played by our favorite Spider-Man, which is Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Nope.
But yeah, the movie is beautifully directed. It's beautifully shot. Everything about it. The score is great by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails and Atticus Ross. Everything about this movie is so good, and Jesse Eisenberg's performance. Like some people say, Jesse Eisenberg is a one-trick pony. If he is, it's a good trick. Because I mean,
he makes you feel very awkward, and uncomfortable.
I mean, like that's the whole point. Like Jesse Eisenberg is really good at playing those kind of characters, and I believe Mark Zuckerberg would be that kind of guy.
Like he made me feel worse in Zombieland than the zombies did. He looked so wormy and squirmy. Like to me, he was the worst part of like Batman vs Superman.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but I mean that didn't belong in this movie.
Yeah.
He's perfect for a role like this, and the way everything kind of pans out, the way the emotion goes. Aaron Sorkin wrote it, which has a beautiful kind of like really precise dialogue.
Does he look like that little girl from that movie Polly, the little parrot?
I can see it, but
the girl used to the Coke commercials.
I mean,
yeah, he looks just like her. Just like her. It's crazy.
I feel like him and Michael Cera are interchangeable.
Oh yeah, I mean I've heard that too. They're very similar. I think Jesse Eisenberg's a little bit more particular, and then Michael Cera is more like kind of thing. Yeah, but
he's just awkward. That's all I can say. He's just painfully awkward.
But yeah, Social Network's a great one. Really kind of captures the whole essence of kind of that feud. Granted, it's very hyped up, it's very dramatic, and it's probably not completely honest to what actually happened. But if you want to see a good movie, written, directed. Everything kind of all the elements of filmmaking are really done really well. It's a great one to check out. So I don't believe you've seen the next one, so we might take this one together. Yeah. Why don't you give us some background about Mr. Ed Wood?
He was voted one of the world's worst directors of all time, but they become cult classics, and his films were kind of the first to become the cult classics. Yeah. They were he's horrible dialogue. Horrible. Every corner of his films were horrendously bad. But because of that, they brought a special audience in that was like, this is so
guys
bad,
like me that like watch this.
Yeah, like I mean, this guy was like the Neil Breen of his day.
He probably was, and he was kind of like, we got to get it out fast and cheap. We got to get it out done. So I remember there's one scene in the movie where he's like, so there's a scene in the plane. He's like, where's the plane? He's like, you're standing in it, and like it's a soundstage of like two little chairs and like a steering wheel or something like that. It's like he just used whatever. He used like paper and plastic to make these movies. And there's a certain kind of charm to it. There's a certain kind of like honesty and kind of like charm to his movies. But this movie is directed by Mr. Tim Burton himself. It stars Johnny Depp as Ed Wood. And the way he portrays Ed Wood is so great. He plays him like the 50s kind of old man that talks like this, like the really Transylvanian talk. And Tim Burton's direction's really great. It just kind of has that really weird tone, kind of the look of all his films. Kind of makes you feel kind of like you're in that world, like you're in the kind of the Beetlejuice kind of place, the Batman world, kind of that whole genre of Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhand kind of thing, and also Johnny Depp's there. But yeah, this movie's a lot of fun to watch, especially kind of like gives you a background on how weird and everything that kind of was.
And I think it kind of like shows the progression of the death of Bela Lugosi's care's.
Yeah,
kind of shows how his career finally petered out and died.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a lot of fun to watch. But we talked about some good ones. There's a lot of stinkers, and we're going to go ahead and speed through these next ones. So this next one's about another country musician. We start off both lists with country musicians that just came out maybe like a year ago and stars Mr. Tom Hiddleston as Hank Williams. I'm talking, of course, about I Saw the Light. I Saw the Light is extremely disappointing in a lot of ways because, what's his name? Tom Hiddleston. Such a great actor, and he really tried to like work hard to try to get that voice down, and he's probably the best part of this movie.
So it's Hank Williams Jr.?
What?
Where'd the beard at?
No, it's Hank Williams. Did I say Hank Williams Jr.?
Oh, yeah.
It's Hank Williams. It's father. Yeah, one of the great old country musicians.
Come on, Country Boy Will Survive.
No, different one.
All my rowdy friends coming over tonight.
Different one. But that's the son. But this one, yeah, Hank Williams is one of those classics from like the 40s and the 50s. He does a really good job, but they kind of like they include some of the, again, he was a drug addict, and this movie's just so scattered, and
I feel like Hank Williams Jr. is a drug addict too. You gotta look at him too. Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, he says it in his songs. He says he does drugs in his song. It's his family tradition.
Yeah.
But they kind of captured those kind of elements, but the whole movie's just kind of like really glossed over, really surface level. Not a whole lot really delving into what needs to be going on there. It didn't really feel for any of the characters. It felt like a mess because it was. They didn't really know what they wanted to do with it, but there's a really strong performance by Tom Hiddleston in this that is worth seeing, but nothing else is really worth even noting in this. They really kind of gloss over this whole guy's career and his life. But yeah, Tyler, I believe you've seen this next one.
The Conqueror. I think it was Genghis Khan, I think. Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. Well, don't you mean John Wayne?
Yeah, John Wayne. Okay. You got the whitest man they could find in all of Hollywood. Yeah, and they made him play Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan. He wasn't white. He was not a white guy. It was one of the most whitewashed films of its time. And I believe they filmed this movie right downwind from a nuclear test site. I mean, this was not good. It was just totally inaccurate. It shouldn't have been made. I mean, it was just not good. It was like.
Didn't you say John Wayne contracted? We talked to this before. Like people that sustained injuries during filming.
They were right downwind from a nuclear test site, so the fallout was blasting them like while they were because it was still radioactive in the area. So they filmed the whole movie, and then for reshoots, they even dug up dirt and brought it back with them to California to do some reshoots. And said the scene was irradiated, and everybody died not too long after this. Everybody contracted some form of cancer.
Yeah, and that tends to happen when you get around nuclear testing.
Yeah, and he died of he contracted cancer by filming this.
Yeah, but
and he played. It was pretty much the Ghost in the Shell of its time.
Is that bad?
Yeah, the Ghost in the Shell of its time.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. But
you saw Ghost in the Shell.
No, I've seen. I'm talking about The Conqueror.
Oh gosh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I've seen Ghost in the Shell. We reviewed.
Yeah, because does he look like Mongolian to you?
Not at all. He looks about as Mongolian as Mongolian beef.
Yes.
But yeah, this next one, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's a directed by.
I saw Alexander.
Yeah.
I got a good 88 probably halfway through it.
Okay, well, this movie is directed by Oliver Stone, who directed things like Born on the 4th of July and the recent Snowden and a lot of other movies in between.
Other failures.
No, he's a great director. Natural Born Killers, he directed that. I'm talking, of course, about the movie starring Colin Farrell that came out in 2004. It's called Alexander, about Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one. That's coming next. But yeah, Alexander is about
Alexander the Great. Iskandar, if you want to call him that.
Iskandar. But
Iskandar is his
Oliver
name.
Stone is such like a master at trying to get things like with war and all that kind of together. Yeah, this movie just kind of fell apart.
It felt like it wanted to be Troy, but it didn't come out being Troy.
Yeah, I think it did want to be Troy, but I mean it doesn't really add up. I mean, downright to the hair, downright to the Colin Farrell's acting.
It was not. I mean, there was some parts where he had the Irish accent during it.
Yeah, he did have an Irish accent. It was really weird, and I think.
Alexander the Great, I'm coming in from Macedonia. We're going to take over the Greeks, then we're going to go down there, we're going to smash them, go all the way down to India. Yeah, but I'm going to go see the Adriatic Sea.
But they get his character all wrong. And
horribly wrong.
I don't feel like it really did him justice.
See, in real life, the man was an alcoholic and he didn't hardly do much. He just told him to go do stuff.
So basically, like I saw the light and walked the line.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic. They said he died from alcohol poisoning. And he was just like, he was so drunk. Because everybody's like, he is fearless. He was so drunk, they said he probably didn't know what he was doing half the time.
And that's,
yeah.
He's Alexander the OK doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
But
Alexander the Drunk does, though. That sounds pretty cool.
Alexander the Drunk does really flow off the tongue. But guys, we have one more movie that we want to talk about. It's one of the worst biopics, which we'll talk about when we come back after this quick break. Stay with us.
It was horrible.
Ooh, I guess we're still on.
Well, let's go ahead and let's start talking about it. Let me start talking about it.
Don't start talking about it yet.
Let's try. Nash Community College offers 12 degree programs entirely online. Are you interested in information technology? Explore information technology systems, network management, systems security, healthcare informatics, or web design and administration. These 2-year programs are only a few of the online associate degrees offered through Nash Online. Students receive the same quality instruction and resources as on-campus students without ever stepping foot on Nash's campus. Learn more about Nash Online today at online.nashcc.edu.
Nash Community College will host the inaugural Bounty and Barrel event Thursday, November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Join the community for an evening of North Carolina harvests, meats, and seafood while sampling barrel-aged spirits and student craft beer, plus a VIP hour with special guest and certified spirits specialist. Don't miss this Bounty and Barrel event, November 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. on the campus of Nash Community College in Rocky Mount.
Did you know Nash?
Hey guys, welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Anderson.
I am here right now, so let's roll.
All right. Okay. So guys, this week's movie review, which also ties into our last segment, is
Birth of the Dragon.
Gotta wait for the sound effect.
Oh.
But yeah, Birth of the Dragon. So in case you don't know, this movie is about Mr. Bruce Lee back in the 60s. I'm gonna tell you what it's described as. Bruce Lee has a really bad attitude, and a monk from the Shaolin Temple in Hong Kong comes to America because he's not happy with him training Americans in the art of kung fu.
That's
so they have a
actually
secret.
happen.
Yeah, they have a secret fight in a warehouse. That sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's not what this movie is.
What I got was about a white guy. I just saw some white guys learning karate.
Might as well get into
learning
it.
kung fu. No,
Okay,
Wing Chun.
what did you think about this movie?
I thought it was pretty bad.
Oh, you thought, yeah.
If it was about Bruce Lee, make it about Bruce Lee.
Yeah. And
have Bruce Lee in it. I give him some dialogue.
This really frustrated me because I believe we have a picture of the actual actor that was in this that stole the show, Mr. White Hanson himself. This guy, I don't know his name.
It was about this dude.
It was about this dude. This dude is the main character of the story. I don't even care if I spoil that part for you. Bruce Lee's barely in the movie, and this guy is the main character of the story. His name is what's his name? Steve McKee.
Some white guy.
Yeah, some white guy. Yeah, but Steve McKee, which is an actual play on a guy that was actually Bruce Lee's student named Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen was like a martial arts kind of kung fu guy, and that's who this guy is supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah, dead serious.
Steve McQueen.
That's supposed to be Steve McQueen.
Like the real Steve McQueen, died of asbestos poisoning race driver movie actor Steve McQueen.
I think it was supposed to be like Steve McQueen, like the martial artist, kind of like. I guess it's him.
Not the same one. Oh yeah, he died before that. Never mind. What am I thinking? He was dead. He had cancer around that time, so never mind. That couldn't have been Steve McQueen.
But yeah, apparently I read up on it. That's who he was. But his character in here is named Steve McKee. So
Steve McKee.
Steve McKee.
Oh, you said Steve McQueen.
No, that's the guy that he's based on. Steve McQueen.
I'm very confused right now.
Steve McQueen is the character he's supposed to be based on, but Steve McKee is what they call him.
I can clear this up. There's more than one person named Steve McQueen on Earth.
What?
Boom! Okay, yes.
way!
Mine exploded. I thought that was. I knew that was his real name.
I Googled it.
You did?
Yeah, and it came up. There's more than one.
Okay. Just making sure.
I'm fact checked.
Thank you.
Thank you, fact checker.
But yeah, kind of going into the story of this again. The trailer really tried to sell you on Bruce Lee's having this secret fight in this warehouse. That's in the movie.
Yeah, because I saw that in The Dragon, the one from the '90s with Jason Scott Lee.
Yeah.
That was a very good film. But
yeah. So this one, the actual plot is Steve McKee is in love with a girl that's being trafficked by the Chinese mafia in Chinatown. And he falls in love with her and wants to and wants her to be free. So and Bruce Lee is training him in boxing.
Bulletproof monk, I might say.
Yeah,
and turning into bulletproof monk.
Yeah, and then Bruce Lee's training him, and then this Shaolin monk comes to America to wash dishes because he did something bad that you learn later in the film. And then he wants to be trained by him, and then there's drama in that. Then they have a fight for like 6 minutes, and they turn to superheroes. And there's a big old fight scene in the end. That's the movie.
Yeah.
But let's kind of get more into it. The guy that played Bruce Lee, what did you think of him?
I felt like he didn't scream enough.
Well, that's a big problem. Like if we could pull up a picture, this guy doesn't look like Bruce Lee.
No, he did.
He does not look like Bruce Lee. The only similarity he has is that he might be a little like Chinese.
He likes the black. Looks like the Black Ranger from the.
It looks like he's like the ABC show version.
You read the Black Ranger from like the Power Rangers in space.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like
he looks like the ABC
Johnny
Family
Young Bosch.
version.
That's what his name. Johnny Young Bosch.
He looks like the ABC Family version of Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
and it's really disappointing because I think he actually did try. Like his performance says that he's trying something. He wants to be good. But it's not like it's just most of it's direction. Like that's the actual Bruce Lee.
Well,
looks nothing like him.
Well, BruceLee really wasn't fully Chinese, right? He was
I know
German.
he was. Yeah, but I mean, like he's
German.
He like that's not the whole point. I wanted to kind of see somebody more so kind of portray Bruce Lee.
You want some stereotypes up in there.
No, I want Bruce Lee to sound like to act and sound like Bruce Lee. I mean, he did. I mean, he does that in the movie, but it's weird. Like, it's out of place. Mm-hmm. Like, but I mean, obviously that's dramatized kind of for movies. Just like when he brushes his teeth. But
that was good.
But I mean, just kind of the whole direction of it is just so scattered, and it doesn't make much sense at all.
I mean, it wasn't. I feel like we needed a biopic. I mean, it wasn't even a biographical film.
It's sold to us as a biopic,
but it's not. It was a lie. They were telling us. I mean, The Dragon. Like I said, I've seen The Dragon. It was the one Jason Scott Lee played Bruce Lee. Came out in the '90s, and it was good.
Yeah,
very good. Wait, is it Jason Scott Lee?
I'm Jason David Frank. That's beyond the point. But
not the guy who My Name Is Earl, not that one.
But we'll come back to that later. But as far as kind of like the way the whole movie goes, most of it's Mr. White Man up there and his story.
I am the hero.
I'm the hero. White man saves the day. Although he doesn't save the day at the end, I give him that because they had to have a fight scene with Bruce Lee. But so I'm gonna get into spoilers right now, like if we haven't been to spoilers already. This movie sucks. Just know that.
Were you talking about Dragon, the Bruce Lee story?
Yeah, who played him?
That was Jason Scott Lee.
Jason Scott.
Hey, yeah, you got it right.
He also played Mowgli.
Yeah, in the
live action adaptation of the Jungle Book. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic film. It's about Bruce Lee and his wife. It's about his personal life rather than his fighting life.
I gotta see that. But as far as this one kind of goes, they finally get to the fight scene in the warehouse, and the fight scene is okay, although he like rips off Zack Snyder a lot with a slow motion kind of thing, and like that got a little annoying.
Shaky cam.
And it's got like terrible score to it. It's like Limp Bizkit did the score. It's like like it does not match at all.
Like Tom busts up in there, like the microphone, like starts doing the fight. They're setting cars on fire outside.
And it didn't sound like
it's
like that.
It's like 1999 Woodstock. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it was so bad. And they were watching, and apparently there's this random staircase in the warehouse that doesn't go anywhere for some reason. That apparently this Chinese monk lives in, or kind of does, or like practices in.
So he lives on the stairs.
No, like he lives in the like he like owns the warehouse, like he just goes there for some reason. And so he jumps off the staircase and he floats down like he's on wires. Granted, this whole movie takes place in reality.
Yeah.
There's no superhuman elements in this. It's supposed to be completely real. And he says, Bruce, it's like you need to get away from your old teachings and get smarter about it or something like that. And then so that Bruce Lee kind of like closes.
Squatting dog.
Yeah,
That's not good.
he closes his eyes and like he floats down like he's on wires. I'm like, when did they turn into superheroes? Like they're superhumans. Like how is that possible?
I'm like, was Ang Lee involved in this?
Yeah, I know. Like it doesn't take place in reality. If it was one thing, if it was like the whole movie was like that. This is the only scene in the movie that's like that.
Shaolin monks are lighter than most people.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it just didn't make any sense. It frustrated me so bad. And it's kind of like when he just floats down, no one says like, "Hey, anybody think that was kind of weird?" Like apparently he gets magic powers if he like believes in himself enough. But then there's an ending fight scene where Steve McKee gets the mess beat out of him.
So does Jet Li show up and he's the Monkey King? Does he like?
No, different movie. But yeah. So there's a Bruce Lee and the Shaolin monk fight scene trying to save this trafficked woman.
The trafficked woman.
And the trafficking woman.
Oh, so was she in traffic?
No, she was trafficking the women, like the girls that you don't hear about. And there's an awkward scene where, like, they
Is there such thing as a human traffic jam?
What?
Like, they get kind of impeded where they need to go.
It's like they're all peeping at each other. Like, let me out!
Like, get your cake. We're stuck. We're stuck. They got someone kind of like, come on this way. Got to direct the traffic. Direct the human traffic. Come on! Makes you wonder about these things.
But yeah. So the fight scene in the end, again, I believe Nickelback did the score for that.
Nickelback.
It's more obnoxious than the last one. And
see that a hero save us. And like Bruce Lee, the white guy shows up, hero save us. And I'm not going to sit here and wait.
But yeah.
When he gets to the line "Wings of an Angel," that's when the dude floats down from the top of the staircase.
So
he just that track go, you remind me of what I really am, and he's like starts wailing on that dude, and the white guy starts showing up, and then I bet they had cameos in it too. I bet if you look real close, they're like in the crowd somewhere.
They probably are. They could only afford like 100 extras because there's only like 100 people in that little stadium.
So it was Limp Bizkit and it was Nickelback.
So you know the kind of quality they gave us.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing duo right there. I mean, that was probably one of the best crossovers I've ever heard in my entire life.
But I say, I'm like that's like the Conqueror.
That's Woodstock 2017 right there.
That's like the way the Conqueror gave everybody their cancer. I'm pretty sure anybody that listens to that is going to get cancer.
Oh wow. That is pretty bad.
Okay, no offense to them. I'm sure people like their music.
Please say when they did a fight scene, they're playing roll and keep rolling.
That was basically the score. So they put like the little string, the Chinese string instruments, like dun, 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 dun. They put those things in it, but it didn't match. It was like really weird. But at the end, yeah, there's some awkward dialogue exchange, and there's something kind of brought up that Bruce Lee knows one of the guys that knows the woman that's trafficking all these women. He beats him up, and she's like, "Okay, I'll let her go," and that's like the end of the movie. And then Shalamar goes back to China, and Steve McKee is like white hero.
It's white hero.
And then Bruce Lee goes back to being Bruce Lee.
That's that horrendous film.
It's probably one of the worst films I've seen this year, if not the worst. And I saw Transformers this year. That's saying something. I've seen some terrible films. Like
I saw The Arrival.
Yeah, Arrival was great. But yeah, overall, this movie was extremely bad. I felt like walking out of the theater. It was like one of those things I really contemplated walking out of the theater.
You went to a theater to see this?
Yeah, because that's what you do when you watch movies, and like you pay for them even if they're bad because you need to pay it. That's legal.
Well, they should have felt shame about like destroying this man's legacy, so they didn't deserve payment. So I didn't.
The only one in the theater.
I was the only one in the theater, and I straight up told the guy that would check the doors that for security reasons, like, don't stay and watch it, because sometimes they'll stay and watch it because it's kind of interesting. I'm like, don't stay. I'm like, you're not missing anything. I'm like, I've really contemplated walking out. It was really hard. I'm gonna give this one.
I walked out and I watched it at home.
But yeah. What are you gonna give this movie, Tyler?
Probably give it like a 1 out of 10.
Wow, that's the lowest score you've ever given.
It's pretty bad. I mean, like I said, I'm a Bruce Lee fan, and this felt distasteful. This was so distasteful.
Yeah. I'm going to give this one a 1.5 out of 10. The only reason it's that high is because I felt like the main actor actually tried a little bit, but his direction was just so terrible.
I thought it's because you're a Nickelback fan.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. No, I am not either one of those things. Don't ever call me that. At least he tried. He, like, granted, he looks like he's on an ABC show, but he tried a little bit. And, yeah, everything else in this movie was
Fosters.
Was probably the worst thing I've seen this year. So
The
1.5 out of 10.
Fosters.
So yeah, guys, that's our movie review.
Nickelback's my favorite band of all time.
Whew, don't say that. You're gonna hurt my feelings.
Hey, hold on, dude. That's North Carolina Pride.
North Carolina Pride?
They're from North Carolina.
Who?
Yeah.
Nickelback. I
No,
mean,
they're
not
from
Nickelback.
Canada.
No, Limp Bizkit's from North Carolina.
I hate Limp Bizkit.
Ooh, yeah, everybody does. But we'll talk about that later.
I'm just a huge fan of Canadian entertainment.
So now, I have the mystery bag down here.
Oh, my bag full of mystery.
Ooh, in time for the weekly segment of Mystery Movie Facts.
Hope the mystery is not squishy and wet.
Ooh, no, I didn't put a wet paper towel in there.
Okay.
But okay, so in here we have different. Oh, it's not heist movies. Sorry, that's from last week. But
it's still warm.
It's biopic films.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and pick one out.
Okay.
What you get?
Got my fingers crossed here. Got my fingers crossed. Yeah, drum solo. The Social Network.
Oh, why you sound depressed? That's a good movie. That's like an exercise in filmmaking.
Well, it was about how a new term was coined from this film called Zuckerberging. Zuckerberging is when you take somebody else's stuff and you take credit for it.
Well, I mean, we don't know if that's actually what happened.
That's what happened. The Winklevoss twins sued him. They got a lot of money, too.
Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, they definitely came up with that spark.
Yeah, they come up with it.
But, I mean, it sounded like he did kind of screw him over.
He did.
But, like, do you have any facts about the movie in and of itself?
I believe that Andrew Garfield had to fake an American accent for this.
Do you believe that because he's British?
Yeah, and I think at one point there was Justin Timberlake pops up in there.
He does.
Yeah.
Plays Sean Parker.
Sean Parker, yeah. Well, it's Justin Timberlake needs to do more movies. I always enjoyed his acting.
His acting is really good. I really enjoy him.
Yeah, I really like the one about him and Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis? Oh, yeah, No Strings Attached?
Yeah, that
or it was like Friends with Benefits or something like that. I don't remember.
I think it was no Friends with Benefits.
They were both the same movie. But continue. Do you know anything about like behind the scenes kind of thing?
Behind the scenes kind of thing. I believe that I don't know any behind the scenes facts about.
Oh man, that's disappointing, man. You know all these things. Come on.
Well, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg, man. I don't like Jesse
I like him
Eisenberg.
in this movie. Okay, so this movie is directed by David Fincher, who also directed movies like Seven and Fight Club, which is the poster we have behind us every single week. Yeah, and his directing style was really different, and this is around the same time he started shooting digitally. Zodiac,
digital.
Yeah, Zodiac was the first film he shot on digital camera, I believe, and so this is like the third one, I think, as a Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Fourth one, because Case of Benjamin Button was before this, I think. When Social Network came out, digital kind of allows you to shoot more takes because it's a little bit more memory. It's a lot cheaper. So he did like 80-something takes on each one of these shots, or like at least the shots he needed. He's very precise with it. Aaron Sorkin stayed on set every single day to make sure that everybody got their dialogue correct, because he's like basically co-directed this film trying to get this, and he directed some of the additional photography.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. This film was great to me. It's almost like a theater play because it's Aaron Sorkin's dialogue, but yeah, and the nightclub scene that's really hard to hear. I think that's probably the most hard to hear scene I've ever heard.
I got something interesting to tell you about the nightclub scene.
What?
The dancers pantomimed. There was no music.
Oh yeah, there's no music.
They added the music.
I was gonna say
later.
there's no music playing. They added the music in post,
absolutely.
and the music is like super loud where you can't hear anything.
Oh. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find anything else that's interesting.
Look up if Jesse Eisenberg was
Mark Zuckerberg watched the film.
He did not like it.
And he said a lot of it was inaccurate, but the one thing that they nailed was the way I dress.
Yeah.
So.
But say Sean Parker, that's another thing interesting too, is that
Google if Jesse Eisenberg was the kid on the little girl on the Polly.
I seriously doubt that.
Just look it up.
But I believe that
Polly the parrot. Look up Jesse Eisenberg.
I believe that the guy that plays Sean Parker, Mr. Justin Timberlake himself, actually had clothes custom made for him that had Sean Parker by Ralph Lauren and stuff inside like his clothes, and like Marc Jacobs type of clothes that had like shot by Sean Parker, because like he was so rich that he had that kind of stuff. And for those that don't know, Sean Parker's a guy that created this website called Napster, that kind of like destroyed the whole music industry for a little bit. So guys, I think that's pretty much it for us.
Justin Timberlake lost 17 pounds to play that role.
He lost 17 pounds to play a role?
He said it felt like it made him look younger.
Oh yeah, it did.
And he's also the only person who met the character he was portraying before the movie was filmed.
Oh yeah, because Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want to get around someone that's portraying him as like some sort of jerk and like an idea stealer. But yeah, got anything else to add, Tyler?
Yeah, did you look it up, see if Jesse Eisenberg was that little girl on Paula?
Didn't get anything.
Nothing.
Nothing on that.
It's probably not true.
I feel like there's something there.
There's an alternate dimension where it's true.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking too. It's got to be somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But guys, that's it for the show this week. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments, opinions, or anything we talked about today on the show, please leave a comment at facebook.com. Oh, it'd be helpful if the banner was there.
Tell us if Jesse Eisenberg makes you feel uncomfortable too.
Yeah, now it just looks stupid. So facebook.com/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys have to say. But guys, thank you so much for watching this week. We have a really fun show for you next week planned out. Leave some comments. Tell us what you want us to see.
Tulip Fever.
Tulip Fever.
Sounds like a dirty movie.
Well, yeah, I think it's pretty clean. I think they'd wipe the dust off of it.
Okay.
But, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson.
I am Tyler.
He's Hunter, and that's Chris over there, and Amanda's in the
Hi,
booth.
Chris. Your name's Chris. That's right. I forget every time I walk in here.
That's it. Yeah. The man's younger than me. He has a full beard.
I know it out there. And I walk in. I was like, "What's the guy's name again?"
Everybody's got facial hair except for me and Amanda. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay lovely.
All right.